Hey, what's happening guys? Mark back in the workshop on Mark's Aquatics. Right, I thought I'd give you a little round two of the Rummy Nose Tetra babies and how they're coming along. You can see there's quite a few in there, hopping around. A few smalls hatched, not as many as I thought, maybe 20. Quite a few in there. If you have a look, you can see them all moving around in there. And now it's time to be feeding them that infusoria culture, which is here. Okay, so I'm going to take some of that with my pipette, which is there, and carefully suck some up. Try not to suck up a lot of the plant life when you're doing that, which is rotting down in there. And then squirt that in, and you'll see them coming in, that little cloud from the top. Now that is literally all you do now for a couple of days. I'm just sort of level you up there a little bit. It's got to be square. There you go. But you can see them, they're all happy, they're all zipping about, some around the surface, some down in the spawning mop in amongst the leaves. And they're doing really well. What I'm going to do guys with this video now, I'm going to keep this one quite short. I'll take you in the shrimp room in a minute and we'll have a look around in there as well, because obviously I can't keep going on too much about these. One of them's growing really well there. There's quite a big one there up in the top. It seems to have grown on leaps and bounds. I don't know where he's gone, and up there I think he might be just out of view. He might drop down again in a minute. There he is. So he's growing super quick. You may have a super gene in that one, who knows. But they're congregating up around the top in the corner here, which is nice. That's where I actually tend to put the infusoria culture in, so even at a very, very young age they get accustomed to where the food comes in. And they come to the surface for it. The leaves are keeping that water nicely acidic in there still, and that filter should be doing its job. Now I probably will take out maybe 10% of that water today and put some fresh water in there. Okay, so I'll probably fill it up with some RO water just to keep that down, and then I'll slowly bring that pH back up again, because they only need it to spawn. As soon as they finish spawning and those babies are all ready to go, then you should see, then you'll be able to raise that pH back up and change those water parameters back again, because you're not wanting to breed, you just need them to be stable, and you're going to be returning them back to your main tank. And in fact my tank's running at around 7 to 7.2 in the bench tank, and that's where they're going to be going. So well, a lot of them will be going back to the shop. I'll keep a few, but we can get them used to the tank parameters that they're from. And you can also take out some water from your main tank and add it to that as well, so that will slowly change those water parameters back. Dechlorinated tap water is fine at this stage to do a water change as well. Make sure it's same temperature. You don't want to be putting cold water in there, because you'll shock those babies and you'll kill them straight away. So you've got to be pretty careful that way. And really now all it is, we've got to wait for them to grow up. So it's going to be a few weeks. It's going to be, I mean, it took the neons, that video that I took there, I did that one right the way through, different stages, and that took quite some time. But what I'm going to do with this series of breeding videos, I think, is I'm just going to literally, you've seen them now, you feed them the infusoria now for a good week to 10 days, and then as they grow, then you can introduce the brine shrimp, then the freshly hatched brine shrimp, always making sure you rinse that salt off first through a little sieve. I've got a little sieve somewhere here, I'll show you. Okay, there's your sieve, very, very fine micron mesh. Okay, so what you do is you go down to your, if you're taking them out of your reactor, or if you're buying them from your local fish store, freshly hatched brine shrimps in a bag, tip them into this first, okay, and then you give them a quick rinse in some tap water, or through into some aquarium water, just to take that salt out like that, and then you just release them into the tank. You don't have to do it all at once. Take a little teaspoonful out, put them back into some fresher water, they'll live in there as well for a few days, and then just keep adding them in 3 times a day, and that should do you that should do you fine. And as they get older, you can crush up some very fine bug bites and things, make that into a powder, sprinkle that into the water on the surface. They'll soon start learning that the food hits the surface, and they'll come up for that. And then you can slowly then transfer them over from the live food to the powder food, which will make your life a lot easier. Like I said, it's a easy way to feed them, to bring them up. Make sure you get those little cultures on the go. That's imperative. I know I keep harping on about it all the time, but success in fish breeding is that micro life, that culture, to really kick-start them off and get some good healthy fry going. Okay, right, let's go into the shrimp room and have a look what's been going on in there. Yeah, I'm glad some of you guys like that sweet potato video. Now, some of you asked, it looks like you put the spud in the wrong way around. Now, the reason why I did that is because if they started shooting out the top, okay, if the tuber was around the right way, if you want to know which way the tuber is, you can see the little nipple on the top there where the root fed the tuber itself. Okay, so you really want that to be, I want to put that this way up, as you can see. So then by doing that, as you can see, that's where the tuber was there. Okay, that's where and those plants come out. But when they come out, they start putting out all these little roots, you see, out of the cuttings themselves. So then you can snip those off, and if your potato starts to go a little bit pongy or starts to rot, they don't normally rot, but if they do, you can literally discard the potato, put some cuttings in a nice little holder, and then you haven't got the tuber to rot down, you've just got the plant with the root system to carry on growing. Okay, and that will do the same as the pothos, which we've got growing in the tank next door here, which does exactly the same. They're all nitrate sucking machines. They're brilliant to have in there, totally safe for the fish as well. I wouldn't have put them in hundreds and hundreds of pounds worth of zebra pleco tanks if I thought they were unsafe. Make sure you give everything a good wash before you put it in your tank, for obvious reasons of any pesticides or anything that could have been sprayed on them. Always make sure you give them a good scrub first. You're not going to harm the potato by giving it a good scrub on the outside first. Okay, so let's have a look down at these little guys down here. Look how those little guys have come on. Now you can see the difference between, now these are all from the long finned albino pleco babies. Okay, they're all from the same pair, and you've got, looks like half have got a very different coloration on them. They got like a little bar over the top of them in white, which is really interesting. I'll try and get a bit closer for you. There you go. Pardon me. But half of them are albino and half of them are a darker coloration, and that's brilliant. So they're going to be absolutely amazing. I'm going to put them back into the tank here in maybe about another 4 or 5 days. So as soon as that yolk sack's used up, I'm going to put them back in there. Okay, all the other little babies down here are all busy whizzing away. I think what I'll do is I'll go and put some food in there so you can see them at the feed. I'll give you a little view of the tank now, all the way along the base, but you can see how many are out. Look at all those babies on that sponge filter. And now I will put some food in, and I crush that up with my fingers. I keep it up in one of my little old orb tanks there. And I'll just grab a pinch of this stuff, just like little chips. Okay, and what I do is I screw it up in my fingers like that into a little powder, and then I'll give it a quick wash with my hand, and that will sink it, and you'll see all that going down. Look at that. And believe me, it won't be long before these guys will come out of everywhere. I'll just move that airline out of the way so you can see a little bit better. There you go. And the airline fell back down. Oh, I'll just shift that out of the way a minute. There you go, that's better. You can see all the little zebras underneath there. They're starting to wake up. They'll all come out in a minute. But everything hides under the leaves. And they all come down. What I tend to do, I tend to feed them these chips 2 or 3 times a week, and then I'll put a nice big chunk of cucumber in there, or courgette, zucchini, or mushroom. Just blanch them all, make sure they're nice and soft, and then either stick a fork or a piece of stainless steel through them and sink them. Here you are, the little zebras are all out in the back now, starting to come out and feed. It's nice to see the zebras. I wanted to keep them in here with the babies because zebra plecos are really secretive, and they really don't like coming out during the day, as you guys who keep them in your main aquariums will probably know, because you'll hardly ever see them, and then now and again it's like, oh wow, yeah, I forgot I had that, and they'll just pop out and you can remember. But by keeping them with the bristle nose, the plan is when I do rehome them, that wherever they go they're going to be used to coming out for food, and you're going to see them a lot more. I mean, the gang, the mum and dads, as you can see, as soon as I turn round, he's like, get away from my pot. They're all in their pots, so hopefully we might have some eggs in one of these pots now, or even some babies now, because they've all got a separate pot each again. So maybe one of those boys is guarding some eggs in the back of that pot, which would be super exciting. But you can see now, for where I put them up before, how many of these little plecs are coming out now to feed. They're absolutely everywhere, look. And it's going to be a bit of a madhouse in there. So every time I move, those little zebras shoot back under their filter and hide away. But these little guys are going to go in yet. There's probably, I wouldn't like to guess how many's in there, maybe 60, 70 in there as well. So there's loads more. Let's try and get you some close-ups of these little chaps having a munch down here. Look at those guys go. Big old fat mummy shrimp there. She's let all those eggs go. Oh, smacked her straight in the face then. Look at that. But you can see the difference in all the little plecs. Some have got little flecks in them. Some have got the really broad band in their tail, like that one there. You should call him broadband. Broadband and Wi-Fi. But you can see the difference in them. Some are more spotty than others. Got a little gang of shrimps up here on the oak hide, having a chill out and a little chat. And lots and lots of little baby ones on top of there. Look at that. There's a whack there. Another mum there, ready to give birth to a load of babies. Look at those little guys. And they'll keep your tank lovely and clean. They really will. Up on the leaves as well. Down below. Polishing up. You won't beat bristle nose plecos for polishing up your aquarium. You really won't. I'm just going to slowly make my way back now, because it's like an attack of the zombies over here. Look at this lot. There you go. I'll just pan out of it so you can see them all. We've got a right heap of babies, so I'm going to have a lot of bristle nose plecos to rehome in a couple of months' time when these reach about an inch. And you can see those little zebras there. Look, there's, how many have we got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 I can count that have come out. 8, I can see 8 in the background. And the rest are hiding somewhere. They're a bit younger, and they tend to hide away under the sides of the pots, right and under the little crack in the pots underneath there. That's where they tend to go. Brilliant stuff. I do like a busy fish room. Look at that, they're all the way along there. The little nitrate tower there is working brilliantly. The shrimp love going up on the top of there as well, as you can see. They go in there and clean up the top bit of the media. Look how polished the tops are compared to the stuff down the sides. I use that Marimo ball there. I just push that against it, so it's literally sucking the water through that, and it's using it as a pre-filter, which is quite handy. All my little betters are doing well. Watch you guys. Gonna have to rehome these soon. If anyone's in South Wales and they fancy grabbing some of these, drop me a comment in a message, message in the comments below. There's a big angelfish in there as well. Mummy and Daddy angelfish are in here as well. I put them in there, took them out of the bench tank as well, because they were getting a little bit aggressive towards some of my smaller tetras. So they're in there. They can all have fun in there. But yeah, if you're from South Wales, you can do pickups. drop me a message in the comments below and you can grab some of these. Look at that, healthy stuff. The old pothos there, sorry the pothos, that sweet potato there growing lovely under that light. Coming on in leaps and bounds, that is. Keeps that water nice. Oh well, there you go. I thought I'd give you a little update on the Rummy Nose Tetra babies. They're coming along nice. These babies are coming along nice. These little babies are coming along nice. And I've still got all sorts to breed for you guys, yeah. My goodness. But I love it. Absolutely love it. Look at that lot. Lovely stuff. Anyway guys, as always, you are all stars. Love you loads. Take care of yourselves. And from me and the seething mass, I shall see you on the next episode of Mark's Aquatics. Take care and bye for now.
Just me and my guitar.